subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates.
Hi everyone, my name is Anita and welcome you all at Inkpothub Media once again. Today I'm going to be speaking with Dr. Nidhi Vashishth, Director in Charge, Academy of Human Resource Development. Welcome ma'am, I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Anita. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much and we are honored to have you on board. Inkpothub is because of people like you and the way you are working at AHRD, building it up and taking it from level here to level here, and iska to there is no end. There is no upper limit. So I'm very excited to know about AHRD, the Academy of Human Resource Development. From my previous interactions with Professor Rajesh and Professor Feston-ji, I want to know from you, what is AHRD in 3 words, and then how it started, what is the vision, what is the objective. So all these things, if you can share from the lens of Director in Charge of AHRD.
Sure. Pleasure to be speaking about it. It's also a little bit nostalgic because you find that as a student, when you learn about HR as a profession, you do get to know the founders of this institute and you get influenced by their learnings at a very young age. So I consider myself fortunate that I could be a part of this institute at this particular point in my career. So if you were to say 3 words to define AHRD, I think one is, for the entire audience, it is a hidden gem. So you will really, there are people who say that we are surprised that such an institution exists because we are not very hardcore marketing digital analyst, and we don't use any influencers or things like that, nor do we have a very vocal kind of alumni. So we are a hidden gem, one word. The second, Dr. Anita, I would say is that it's the journey in totality is considered an intellectual treat. It's a word that came from scholars, and I was really happy to hear this, that they said that, man, the session today was an intellectual treat. So when you get something like that on a WhatsApp and they're coming from HR heads, it's really a satisfying thing that, no, you've done your work really well. So I would say it's an intellectual treat for people who are passionate about doing research. And I would also add the word around HR and OD, because in totality, it's an institute which is pioneering studies around these 2 areas. And so you will find that, yeah, these are 2 areas where I should find my highest learning desires being fulfilled. I could say that. Yeah. Thirdly, I would say it's a platform for higher learning, at the same time, a platform for networking with so many other intellectual minds. At a very nominal fee when you become an AHRD member. The journey begins there. So you have access to pioneers from 1970, founders, living legends. You have access to work of legends who are no more, but their books and their work is phenomenal. You would find the library being a treasure of books which aren't available in other libraries so easily, and the kind of tools and design that they have done. So just give you an example. Assessment centers have been in practice from so many years now, and it's a lucrative consulting business. But you'll find that AHRD was a place where the initial design, rolling out, documentation began. So you would find that it's actually a temple of all these areas, and in a very, very subtle manner, they keep working. So you learn as an individual about how a silent worker can do so much magnificent work. So these are 2-3 things that come to my mind.
Okay. So while looking at the profiles of candidate, I actually got a chance to look at the profile of batch 2022, and I saw it has got a varied, it's a range of people. So if you can throw some light on the kind of people you have, I saw that, but for the audience sake, we can also talk about the kind of audience or the students which you have in your current.
We are fortunate, definitely, to get, when I say intellectual treat, it doesn't just come from the facilitators. It also comes from the receivers. the one who is accepting the knowledge which is being flown. So you'll find there are HR heads from varied industries across the nation. About 2-3 years back, the international representation has begun. And in that, you will find an amalgamation of heads coming from different industries also, not different functions also, not just HR. There are people who are from sales and marketing also, the people from finance also. But they have one common thread which is running in all of them, and that's a passion for doing higher learning and research. Because our coursework is just not equipping you to do a research. And therefore, I'm using the word higher learning because I personally believe that anyone who has reached that point where he feels that I need to collect more knowledge, more information, learn for myself, I think it's a good place to be. So multiple industries, HR heads, L&D heads, there are CEOs who join in. Again, fresh in mind, they do not have a formal HROD training also at times, but they come in, they go through the coursework, and there are even young, very young in the sense that 0 to 7-year-old experience also, who at some point of time want to join this place. So, and I was like, while taking the decision of whom to admit or not, at times I used to be a little dicey whether the very young experience would do justice to it or not. But I'll tell you, they have done phenomenally good progress because they are the ones who are following the timelines, and they are attuned to doing deadline work, which works well for a researcher and the one who's trying to pursue a fellow. So it's been variety, but at the same time, a common thread of learning and research. And so we have a great alumni in terms of the interaction, the platform that you get. Genuine good researchers.
Okay. So I would also like to know about the process. So what is the process? Like, we apply, there's an application form. So once a person sees the application form and fills the application, so further, like, what is the requirement for application? And as you said that you need to have this much amount of work experience, is there any exam, any score which you need, like GRE or GMAT or CAT score, and then any SOP or a proposal? So what is that requirement? Do you have such kind of things?
See, no, we do not have that kind of any national test that a person has to clear. But yeah, I would say that if you are a postgraduate with substantially good about 5 to 7 years of experience, because you need to be able to understand the organization and group processes a little more than somebody who's a fresher. So I would say at least 5 to 7 is a minimum requirement that I would say would be very healthy for somebody to join. After that, we have a very simple online application form available on our website. You can fill that form, small nominal fee that is to be paid. And once we filter out your applicant profile and the entire data, we invite you for a competency test. So it's not a knowledge test, but it's a competency test. And that is designed to see whether you have the research acumen or not. So you would appreciate a practitioner and a teacher and a researcher are 3 different job roles, you would say. So we try and see that if that person has the acumen and desire to grow more in this particular field. So we do that competency test, and then there is an academic council interview to take the final decision. So these are 3 levels that you need to take for the admission.
Okay. I have a very critical question here. So if I'm an applicant, and I have to pursue an executive FPM program in India, and I have, say, 10 years of experience. So I understand that AHRD has gotten quite a good, background in terms of faculty base coming from various good institutes. But I still crave for that brand name. For instance, IIT or IIM, I still crave, and IITs, and so in fact, IIMs are offering executive FPM program. Why would I choose AHRD in that case? Because of this brand name, if I consider, because it's a market image kind of thing. And AHRD is not speaking much about because as you said, that it is not in digital space, it is not in. So I feel a little skeptical about taking admission. So tell me one thing for which I should skip my IIM admission and I should join AHRD.
Very tricky question at the time when branding is the key to success perceived to be. Dr. Anita, I'll be very genuine in asking you one thing. Why do we do research?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first question we should ask ourselves. If we want to do a fellow, be it from Harvard or be it from IIMs, why are we doing it? What interests us? Okay. The key lies there. What I have gathered through my experiences is that somebody who is looking for making a career in the academia, currently is a practitioner, you want to transit into that space, okay, would like to consider brands, because that brand will give you a little more leverage when you are trying to apply to that institution as a faculty. That's what the understanding of the academia is here. But on the contrary, if you're doing research because you are passionate about the subject, you want to genuinely learn from all the best minds available to a great extent in India, as far as the AHRD buckets are concerned, and also because you want to have a workplace which is a little more flexible and little more cordial with your time plans of your corporate requirements or your academia requirements, I would say AHRD will fit into well. Mm-hmm. Because it is giving you the entire academic input that you would get in IIMs. To some extent, I'll take the liberty to saying that IIM Ahmedabad, say if you're doing a fellow, you will be exposed to IIM Ahmedabad faculty. I am not sure if they allow you to listen to IIM Kolkata also, IIM Bangalore also, understand the research journey there. But here, every fortnight, every month, the faculty changes. So and even internationally, our alumni is based. So the facilitators who are coming on one, I would say, your own laptop, is handpicked, known experts from variety of fields. Mm-hmm. At the same time, there are practitioners who have become researchers, and they are also invited to teach us. Like I'll give you a 𝗔𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀 example. He's heading L&T in the HR space, and he is our board member, and he teaches us in the fellow journey also. So you'll find that he brings to desk a practitioner's perspective as well as a researcher's perspective. You'll find my practitioners, if they are given heavy content, they call me for an open house. They'll say, too much of theory, too much of professors coming, ma'am, samajh nahi aa raha hai. How do we take it forward? Because I am a practitioner. I don't want to become per se only a faculty in my near future. I want to learn research because that excites me. So that thin line where you don't personally want to be a faculty of a branded institute, but you want to do genuine research and get a little more flexibility and more, you would say, a personalized help and support, mentoring and coaching by all the experts available in under one umbrella. I think AHRD is the place for you to be, and that's based on my own personal experiences, which have been changing every month on month as I proceeded with this journey. Where would you find 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹 coming for induction? At the same time, you are also finding 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗶 coming. You will find Rao coming. These are people, I'm not saying not accessible or reachable to other institutions, but the love and the passion with which they come here, the way they own the institution, and at the same time, there is no formal structure for them to be a part of this institute, is the beauty of where I think the purpose of making this institute, Dr. Anita, was genuinity and authenticity of creating a platform where the fraternity can come and do research without any jazz, and that has stayed like this. And I would want that this stays for even a longer period of time, because that's the beauty about it. But yeah, where we have realized is that spreading the word about what good we are doing, what kind of research possibilities are there, is definitely an intelligent choice, and that's what we are trying to do, a little more publicize about the kind of work that we do here.
Okay.
Because we are open to learning.
Yeah.
coming from every source possible. I'll give you a small example. If you have been to Ahmedabad, there is a blind school.
I know.
And they do phenomenally good work. Okay. So the president there is our board member, Bhushan Saab. And when I got to know from my team that during the induction phase, the scholars are asked to go there, visit there, and experience the blind room. I got to know that it's a place where the learning is coming from different sources. We are not training your minds to just be the refereed articles का जो एक पूरा database है उसी में आप बैठे रहिए. You can learn from multiple sources. And the best part is about the documentation. You will find that there have been some brilliant works which we would want. I'm hoping that the last 3 years batch, which have been phenomenally good in terms of the intellect which has come, will again start doing it. The kind of documentation which has happened in the sense that AHRD was trained to do it. For example, they've done a blind school experience. They have to come back and they have to write some paper about it.
Okay,
So they
reflection notes and paper. Oh, wow. That's
your self-learning, the entire group learning, and publish it as a monogram for our institute. So we'll find those small snippets lying in our library, which are about multiple experiences people would have in NGOs, in corporate, in industries, as an OD consultant. So I think this is something that even the board members and the trustees, what I experienced, want to develop again. Because that is where the researchers' contribution to industry comes in handy. Because I'm a very, personally, I have a belief that if your research is not contributing to the practitioners, it's only meant for the journals and your faculty requirements. I personally believe your research should contribute to the practitioners.
I bought your argument already, and the kind of exposure which candidates are getting, I'm sure they will also develop and understand there's there's a research gap from this kind of exposure. They will learn that what is not done in research already, can they contribute from Indian context, Indian perspective. There are so many things which are required to be done. So this will definitely give them exposure. What you are doing is really class apart, I must say. I have, interviewed a lot of directors, and I've spoken with many people. Inkpothub has a lot of interviews already done with directors and people who started their institutes. But the kind of work which AHRD doing, and I am kind of very open and supportive and appreciative of this fact that such kind of exposure to experienced people is also required at times, because we have a lot of unconscious biases, which we think that today I am an HR manager or maybe a CEO or CXO of any company, but I'm not aware of things at ground reality because I am sitting in that corner office in my suit, and what I need is that reality so that my organization can also contribute in that domain and or that untouched area, gray market, which is not exposed, which was not exposed to me before. So such kind of exposures are definitely going to help these practitioners. Really appreciable. Trust me, I must appreciate this fact that you are.
Yeah. I'll at this point I'll just add on two possibilities that are emerging for us now. There's one of our scholars. She's working around the field of the area of autism. Okay, and she is doing a research which is a blended research on autism and HR and OD practices. So how that will shape up. There's another scholar of ours who is heading a foundation which is promoting organ donation.
Okay.
There is another scholar which is principal of a school. Okay. There's another scholar who is heading L&T in the operations side. But I'll tell you, super enthusiastic scholars. No? If you have a class at Saturday, by Tuesday, Wednesday, you will find the entire assignment coming back to us. And we are really bubbling with how they can write, how they can learn. If you give them APA citation, they'll have sleepless nights about understanding how it is. The plagiarism thing, everything, you will find the excitement level, and that's what we appreciate, that there is no faculty guide that we have, there is no student guide that we have, but still the learnings keep happening on a structured phase manner. and the student understands after 2 years when the larger picture emerges. Because see, I don't think any fellow program, I'm not sure, is any PhD program, I could say, is giving you a coursework more than 6 months. And in that coursework, you do 2 papers. One is for your research.
So this brings my next question. So what is the course structure? Like what is the coursework and thesis work, and how much time is needed to be given on the coursework and then the thesis work? If you can throw some light on that.
Yeah. So as I was sharing, if you join any regular university for a PhD, you would find there is a coursework which is asking you to do research papers to understand the methods, and the other is on the subject area where you want to do the research. But here, the Academic Council has curated a bouquet of about 18 modules, you could say. So these courses are have been handpicked to provide HR and OD understanding at a highest level. Apart from that, giving you a lot of research learning and hands-on practice on what are the research methods, what is qualitative research, what is quantitative research, what kind of equation modeling would help. So there are papers around that also. And then there are a little bit generic papers which are around psychology, OB papers. You would find change management papers. So we are creating those 2-3 kind of buckets. But these are, you would say, at least 18 courses in detail when a person goes through. So at some point find that no, there's a lot of work that we need to do, but then they understand that this is how the journey is going to be. So whether you do fellow after that or not, I'll give you a time when there is an L&D head who told me that Dr. Nidhi, for me the journey is beautiful till now. I'll take some 1 year kind of time where I'm going to do my self work and then come back and do the thesis for you, because I've thoroughly enjoyed these 2 years and there were so many papers and data available which I have yet not internalized. So I'm going to take the break, read whatever has come to me. There's so much of universe which has come to my laptop. I've yet not find the time. I'm not rushing for the thesis work. So the journey is about 7 years that we give you a window. Because 2 years coursework and 3 years if you do logically in a structured manner, you can finish up in 5 years. But we give you a period where your registration is valid for a period of 7 years. And post which you need to re-register and whatever the administrative rules are. But if a candidate feels after about 1.5 years that I'm ready with my research proposal and my title and my defense I can attempt, we have no strong rule of telling him that you sit down for 2 years and do it only after that. So that flexibility is there. If you think that no, my topic is done, my guide is already at place, I can start my journey in 1.5 years also. At least 1.5 years, don't do it, don't jump to that, because at times you come with a topic and then you completely change it 360 degree while you experience these courses. अपना normally होता है, आप कोई practitioner से पूछेंगे आपको किस में research करने थे, you would say I'll do it on employee engagement, employee attrition, retention, job satisfaction. These are some of the themes that has been running into the practitioner's mind because of the experiences he has, and he finds that maybe I find a solution here, or maybe I find a way to endorse the gaps that I realized through the form of a paper. And that is where I stop them. That please don't jump to these topics which have been a pain area in your corporate life. Give them time. You will understand a lot of dynamics around that. Imagine a practitioner who's 30-year-old in the industry, experience-wise, and he's 50 years old in his age-wise, and he is doing OB now for the very first time. So what he goes through, because OB as a subject comes very early when you're doing a formal MBA. But if they're an engineer and you did your MTech and then you became a practitioner, you would probably not do OB.
Absolutely.
So for a 30-year-old experienced person, the facilitator also are there for handpicked. Because this is not a general OB class. You're telling them about OB along with the research acumen of how to do OB research and what are those behavioral dimensions around this subject which will give you a lot of excitement of doing it. So therefore we say that the topic should be decided only after about 1.5 years. You should be really fully aware about your choice that you're making. not those quick emotional things that you have when you join.
Okay, moving to the next part. If you can throw some light on the fees and financial engagements and involvements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fee has been put on the website, and the best part about it is that you can pay it in installments and at a one go. So both the ways work with for us, and I think it's a nominal fee compared to the facilitators and the time that they are giving to you. Because I have yet not heard if somebody says that a facilitator was messaged or pinged in the week which flowed after the Saturday class and he or she is not reverted. On the contrary, you will find practitioners and these scholars saying that we are in awe with the professors who have so much of work and still they manage to revert to us and teach us what professionalism is all about. So the fee details are available on the website. You can log on to that and you can decide to pay in installments or at one go.
Okay. So I understood that your potential candidate should be somebody from the industry having 0 to say 30 years of experience. I'm assuming that this is the range of people.
2 is not a limit that we have. But yeah, minimum, as I shared with you, that anyone can join in. But yeah, if you have about 5 to 7 years of work experience, that will give you a easier and a more crisper way to understand the journey ahead.
Okay. And is it an online program or if it is a compulsory program like offline on campus, or can a person sitting in Hyderabad or in Chandigarh do it, or online in an online mode? Is it possible?
Yeah. So if it was 2019, I would say it is a complete offline program. Thanks to the pandemic, a few institutes really got benefited out of it, and ours was, because the board was very clear in the initial stage when I was asking them for a hybrid mode that no, this is a very advanced course, cannot be delivered in a hybrid mode. So it was complete offline that time, but now it's a beautiful amalgamation of both the modes. Okay. So you would find every Saturday there are 3 hours that you need to spend on the class, and post which you have about 5 to 7 hours of work for you in a week coming back. I would say at least spark that kind of time while you're joining this program. So 3 hours of classroom and 5 to 7 hours of self-reading, learning, assimilation. And this contact classes happen once in a year, mandatory as of now, but it will progress to 2 sessions mandatory in a year, because the power lies in the offline also. So we cannot miss that. So you can be ready for at least spending 5 days to 10 days in a year on an offline mode.
Okay.
Dates are pre-announced.
Why I ask this question, because nowadays I've seen a lot of people with disabilities are contacting me and they want to do a program which is in an online mode. Yes. Communication is a problem, coming to Ahmedabad may be a problem. So that's why I asked. So I will also try to reach out to other community members in the space of disability, so that they can find it as an option that this institute is in an online mode, so they may find it lucrative. So that's why I asked this question.
Because see, the advantage of not being governed by the university setup per se is that we can do these kind of flexibilities. So when I say contact class, these are not mandatory, but they're desirable. If somebody can manage, it's fair enough. Otherwise, for full 2 years, there have been candidates who have not visited us and they are about to end their coursework and start the research journey. So if they get a guide in their own local city, and as I shared with you, that UAE has been a great add-on. There are a lot of scholars who have joined us from UAE. There are people who are, we are having a likelihood that they'll be joining from Maldives also, maybe in this current year. So we are trying that these people who are spread out in the South Asian continent at least try and see the benefit of the program, so that they can join on a hybrid mode. And at times you love to go switch off for 5 days and not just be to Ahmedabad, you like the place. So I'm sure the contact classes will also be, when they announced, nobody would mind it. I would say.
That's right. So moving to the last part of this conversation, specifically dedicated to AHRD, what's your message to potential scholars? One line message.
I would say practitioners, after a period of time, knowingly or unknowingly get into the belief that I know it all and there's nothing academia can tell. That is a little gap which I personally feel for a practitioner's mindset, because you would find that everything that we are doing today has originated out of academia only. It's not that a practitioner contributed to a theory. They have done it, that integration has happened. But we have all, today if I am a practitioner, it is big because I've read 2 years a program which was giving me theoretical frameworks. So somebody who perceives that academia cannot contribute to my learning would be a little mistaken. And when you as a practitioner learn both the streams well, I'm sure your journey is going to be phenomenal. I'll give you an example of our own very senior board member and a very senior mentor to AHRD, Dr. Anil Khandelwal, who has been a MD of Bank of Baroda, a practitioner. And when he shares his research journey, I felt really very proud of the association that he has with us, where he said that I was a CMD and I wanted to set a lot of change in my organization, and I used my academic learning consistently, which I was doing parallelly to my own practice field. So that's a great example where this has happened, and there are so many other examples where you will find that the practitioners have benefited by their understanding about the academia in a smarter fashion. I would say you don't have to become a bookworm. There are many sources available, and there are many ways available in which you can learn from the theoretical frameworks, and you will be a better practitioner once that journey has ended, because your understanding of human dynamics will sharpen out, your understanding of organizational dynamics will sharpen out, and you will also be equipped with certain tools and equipments, most of them copyrighted, pioneered by AHRD, and most of the others available to you as a source given by the facilitators, that your journey will become really more enriching. So practitioners can leverage this opportunity for their own development, both self as well as professional.
Okay. Right. What is the outcome minimum required? Like 2 papers or 1 paper, or just a thesis is sufficient enough? So what is the requirement to graduate from the program?
Very honestly, publishing is important. Okay. We do not have very stringent rules at the moment which are saying if you're not Scopus. I personally don't keep that rule. If you're not Scopus, you are not clearing the fellow. Aisa nahi hai. You can write in People Matters magazine, you can write in Human Capital magazine, you can write in Business Manager. Try and develop the habit eventually, and then progress to the Scopus indexed papers. We say ideally if you have published 2 papers, it is wonderfully well. That affects your credit scores and gives you a better grade overall. But yeah, I think, to be very honest, you should learn how to write and publish. That is one takeaway that you should do from this place. Otherwise, you are wasting.
What are you following, like Scopus or ABDC? What is that ranking which you follow?
We follow the ABDC.
ABDC, all right. Okay. Thank you. So this is a serious conversation about AHRD, and I want to know you as a person. So what is your journey of research? So you are a hardcore person who manages MDP, and you pursued your Ph.D. from Mohanlal Sukhadia University, and then you joined a couple of institutes. Now you're heading one of the prestigious institutes in India. So tell me your journey. How satisfying it is for you when you look back and reflect. How was it and how it is now?
Thanks for asking and allowing me to share a little bit about myself. Dr. Anita, I would say that there has been one common thread in all the jobs profiles, portfolios that I've handled, is the passion for HR. So maybe since 97, 98, whenever we got exposed to this particular field, I was really passionate about it. And I have in multiple ways tried to spread the word, spread the message, spread the purpose of why this field exists. And that I think I've done satisfyingly well. Be it the role of an academician, be it the role of a facilitator, doing a learning and development intervention for an organization, or currently taking the particular portfolio. So my journey has given me at least the taste of an academician as a practitioner and as an education management administrator also. But yeah, the common theme has been, I was lucky that I was heading AHRD for this time, because AHRD is one of my most looked up to places when it comes to disseminating the knowledge of HR and OD. So the dissemination was something that influenced me a lot. And even finding purpose in whatever jobs that you're doing, what kind of role that you play influences me deeply. And that is where my choices revolve. So if the purpose is good, I definitely pick it up. Otherwise, yeah, but I have to really buy the whole organizational vision and mission, and that should also fit into my way of taking this field forward. So,
so in my understanding, and from the which I'm looking at you, it's a classic example. Your profile is a classic example of a portfolio career. A person who follows a portfolio career kind of life. So you have been a professor, you have been a consultant, you have been a facilitator, a trainer, and all those profiles came into picture when you joined a PhD program, learned from it, and realized where your heart lies. So that is the portfolio career which you are managing. I want to know more about you. So let's have a rapid fire round. Can you do that?
Sure.
Okay. So what is your early morning ritual or practice?
I do a small puja. The first thing that I do in the morning is to do the small puja, because I think that's the only time when there is nobody else who's disturbing you between you and your God. So that's my first thing that I do. And second is to check off my garden, because I am a very plant-friendly person. So the second thing is I'll rush to my garden, rush to my balcony, check if all my plants are well, and say good morning to them. That's my morning ritual.
Okay.
Yeah.
A must-have item on your work desk
is my to-do planner.
Okay. What is your latest purchase to increase your productivity?
Books.
Okay. Any specific book would you like to mention?
There's so many, but yeah. In my early years, I was deeply influenced by Dr. 𝗂𝗵𝗿𝗍's book, that which says about how you are possible in all situations. So my father just bought it for me, and it has stayed with me forever.
What is your favorite quotation that keeps you motivated?
Pardon? Favorite?
Quotation, a quote.
A quote. One of my senior mentors, while he was interviewing me for repeatedly about a fortnight, whether I should be joining his organization or not, and there came a point that I said, I don't want this job because I have given enough interviews, and if you don't find me relevant now, please stop calling me. Or that time there were no Zoom calls, but he used to call me every day and ask. And there was only one question that he would ask: are you ready to make a difference? And I was like, as a 25-year-old that time, I said, yeah, I would. I mean, if this is the portfolio, I'll do it. But today I understand that why his only question was, are you ready to create a difference in others' life through the work that you do? So that probably is one of the quote which comes very often on my mind, that whatever you're doing, be it in an organization or an individual, try and create difference in the current organization, the current human being that you are interacting with. So that guides me even today.
So I have written this here.
Thanks. So really inspirational.
Are you ready to make a difference? Next time, whenever I'm going to interview anyone, I will certainly ask this question.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was lovely chatting with you. And I never wanted to stop this interaction, but then there's a paucity of time, so we have to respect that. Thank you so much. Thanks once again for considering Inkpothub. And this association is going to be a long-term association, I'm hoping. So let's chat again and come up with very interesting conversations for our students and audience, so that we can add some meaning in their lives.
Anytime, Dr. Anita, and it was really a nice, pleasant talk that we had. And I hope that the kind of work that you are doing will help many institutes like us to take the word forward. So thank you so much, and to your team for doing this brilliant task. Thank you, Dr. Anita.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's great to see you all here. Thank you for watching our work. If you have not subscribed to Inkpothub Media, then please hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel and support research celebrations in India.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.